I'm in a game. I'm in a game. Hello, I'm in the video with my daddy.
All right, everybody. So we got Brian back from Got Fuels. We're going to chat with him today. We unfortunately had another cancellation. I'm not going to go into it, but I will be reaching out with that person again. He's going to be coming on later or early next year. So fingers crossed, right? But hopefully you guys enjoy the interview and let's go. What's going on, Brian?
What's going on, Josh? What's happening, buddy?
So, how was Acme this year for you?
It's a blast, man. Just I can't say enough about Acme and the show they put on. It's a great show. It's big fun. It's fellowship with everybody that comes, all the YouTubers. It's a great time. I was a little shocked, to be honest, as far as the only model I had photographed and it did make it into a magazine, but it wasn't the one I was really expecting to. But it is what it is.
Well, I mean, at least you still made it in a magazine, right? Because there's a
Oh,
lot of people that go to that show that don't even get,
yeah,
mentioned,
that
right?
that's pretty damn cool. I can't. That's freaking awesome that I had a model chosen to be photographed and be put in a magazine. So I can't complain with that. It's my second Acme, second time being in a magazine. It's an honor.
So, what you gonna do for next year's? Because you already kind of plan way ahead, don't you?
No, not really, but this year I am. Um, uh, I'm not even going to try to keep up with the NASCAR guys. But me, Pork Chop Josh, extremist. Jamie G said he's going to get in with it, and Miguel, we're going to be doing the C7 Corvette, and that falls in that falls in actually two themes. It falls into the Corvette, 70 years of Corvette, and it falls into the 100 years of what is it? Shit, 100 years of Le Mans.
Oh, okay.
That car was in Le Mans too, and I plan on doing the what is it? The GT40 too. I think it is. Yeah, I think or is it GT? Is it Ford GT or I can't even remember. I got the kit, but yeah, I plan on doing that one too. Um, so
Well, that's cool. I mean,
um, I'm hoping, fingers crossed. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that Revell was measuring the 2023 Corvette C8, and I'm hoping that will release and I can get that built for Acme because I've got the 53 C1, and I'm hoping I can put those together. It's Ford GT. I got that kit too, Jamie G.
yeah, no, it like even like back in the day, like Ford versus Ferrari, that car was massive and performed phenomenal, right? Now
Right.
you talk about now they're on a completely different level, right? So
Right.
it's kind of cool to see the evolution of that car from, you know, where they've had it to where it is now. And the body style really hasn't changed a whole lot, I don't think.
Not of the original GT, not tremendously. The GT40 is different, I believe. I'm sure somebody in the chat will know better than me.
Okay. I thought that was all the same car, but you know.
No, yeah, I'm not positive because I know I got the Le Mans GT, and then I got a GT40, the blue kit.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So what other shows you going to be attending this year?
I don't know. Fred and I talked the other day. We might go up to the one in Greenville. I think it's January 21st. It's sponsored by SCMA, South Carolina Modelers Association, and it's a little of everything. And I think they actually call that "I Hope It Don't Snow" show. So definitely going to JaxCon again this year. We went last year, so.
No, you probably have what, 3 or 4 guys that go with you to that, right?
Oh yeah, it'll be it's not as big as a YouTuber thing like it is down in over at Acme.
Yeah.
Hell, last year out of the blue, David didn't tell nobody. David Chin didn't tell nobody he was coming. And all of a sudden, he was standing there. I was like, I know that voice. While he's standing over looking at models, and yeah, sure enough, David Chin had flown down just to come to JaxCon because he knew we had such fun at Acme.
So I'm going to talk about paint for a minute.
Okay.
You've been doing 2 tones lately, or like flames and another color. How are you doing that?
Well, if you're referring to the 49 Merc I just done, actually got with Papa Dan, and he's got a Cricut. I sent him, I emailed him some diagrams. He was able to trace the diagram out, and he cut the flames out for me. They was just on a piece of vinyl that I had to lay down. It's difficult when you can't see such a small surface to try to get everything in the same position, especially up on the top fenders. And I've done my base coat, I've done my flames in white, and then I've done a candy blend over the front and faded it a little bit towards the back. And the GTX I just done, those were enamels. Done the top color first and done the bottom color. Wasn't real happy with the top. I went back, retaked it, and redone the top color. And I actually tried something a little different with my 2K this time. And those of you that use 2K, I know Jamie G's in here, Frizzo's in here. Y'all use 2K. Instead of using regular reducer, I pulled out the Mr. Color Leveling Thinner. And the way it leveled over the decals, there was no raised mark over the decal. All I did was put a tack coat and then one wet coat. I wished I'd have went back with a second wet coat, but that's what I did. And I couldn't believe how evenly it laid over the decals where they weren't raised.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
I was completely surprised. Completely surprised.
Oh, wow. That's unique. I haven't heard that one before.
Yeah, I done a video a while back ago of how I mix and apply cheap automotive 2K. And somebody commented, I want to say it was on one of the Facebook groups I posted it to. And he recommended using that. And I was shocked. Yeah, Jamie. Really, wow. Yeah. I couldn't believe how smooth it laid down over the decals.
No, it and that paint job, you can tell because it's shiny.
Yeah, and like I said, I went one tack coat and one wet coat with it.
Jamie says he'll call you after the show. After
Oh,
we do this.
I might be busy. I got to get the grill lit. Depends on how late we go.
It's try for normal time, but we'll see. You know. No, that's really cool. I like, and the how are you taping off the bodies, or are
Uh,
you just doing the cricket stuff?
Originally I just used automotive tape. I didn't have a fine line. Well, I did, but I forgot I had it. And the line was a little jagged. Um, so I that's why I wanted to go back and redo it. And I used some fine line tape. I have some automotive fine line tape that I got from the paint supply store, and I taped off the blue, and I was much happier with the smoother line that turned up.
Yeah, Jamie says grill first.
I do and toot.
No, it and because you use that wicked Createch stuff, right?
Right.
It always seems like your paint jobs are flawless. I mean, you do put a lot of work into them, right?
Nah, they're not. No, they're not flawless. No.
Well, you know how it is in a picture, right? How it comes across, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It looks a lot better in the picture. I will say, at least I know where the flaws are at. Let's put it that way.
Okay. That's that's a respectable answer, right? Right? Right. So you're also doing something different with that too. You're doing the Mr. Leveling Thinner, right? Or the 40 with
No,
those now too, huh?
can't use that in the Critex. It just gums up.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. No,
What,
I,
what
I,
were
mix,
you doing stuff
I
with
mix
the other day?
like I done a how I mix them video a while back ago, a tutorial, and that's still how I do it. When I first got them, I was very careful on my mixes. I was eyeballing it, but very careful. And then I got a little overconfident, and I was having terrible paint jobs. And I decided to you know what, I got a food scale. I'm going to scale it. That's how I was already doing my 2K that way, just because it's much quicker instead
Yeah.
of look at the pipette, and see the 2 and the 3 that you can barely see. I was measuring them just for the quickness of it using the food scale, and I decided, you know what, I'm gonna do it with this paint, and I've started doing it with everything I use now, whether it's enamels. I pull out the food scale and I measure it because it's just faster instead of trying to see a pipette. And then when you pull paint up in the pipette, you definitely can't see it. Time to go for it. So.
Depending on which color it is, right?
You still can't see it once the paint's in the pipette. You can't see you can't see the numbers on the pipette.
All right.
Yeah.
No. So on the food scale, are you just measuring it to each ounce, or it's probably ounces, right?
Gram. I do gram.
Okay.
A gram is slightly less than a milliliter.
Yeah.
Say you want 10 mils, mix 11, 12 grams or so. And another important part about that is if you want to use a scale, they're very inexpensive off Amazon, but make sure it measures to 0.01 of a gram. You get a closer measurement. You won't get the you can be off almost a tenth of a gram, and still that. I guess I say that because I vape, I mix my own juice. I was always told one hundredth of a gram is what you want your scale to go to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. No,
Yeah.
that's cool. I try to do the best I can with mixing colors, but I'm not Picasso by any means.
Well, you know, if you want, I just found you can be so much more consistent with your mixes, and of course, Createx likes it likes to be sprayed thicker. It likes to be sprayed at a higher pressure, as far as 30 psi. So the paint they wants a thicker paint, and it's just so much easier to be more consistent and faster when I can just drop some paint in a mixing cup, pour it out, go to 8 grams, and then 10% of that is point eight, and that's my reducer, and then I could put 10% of the 40-50 in it, or 40-30, depending on what I'm using, and you're done.
Yeah, it's
You're not sitting there trying to look at a little pipette or anything like that. It's much faster, more consistent. You get more consistent mixes and everything.
no that oh that's cool. No, that's a good tip. That's a really good tip. Do you see that they're coming out with a couple more colors? I think after the new year. I think sometime in like February or something like that.
Createx?
I think so. I think there's another paint line coming out.
No, I don't. The last video I watched, I think it was their. I didn't even watch it though, but it was their Masking Flames. But the last couple, I watch almost every one of their videos, and I don't remember seeing anything about any kind of new paint line. I know they just come out with the new. They kind of merged everything this year into it's all Wicked colors, and it basically already has the same resin in it as the 40-50, but they do. The bottle does still say mix 40-50. You can mix 40-50 10%, but it's already got the same resin. You don't really need it. You just put a little reducer in it and you're done.
No, I haven't bought Wicked paint in like 2 years. That's how much of it I have now.
Well, I got a good bit of it.
It's awesome. I love the finish.
You can see part of it over there.
Yeah.
Part of the rack. So I built that rack over there specifically for my Createx.
Yeah. I don't have that much, but yeah, I've got quite a bit. I just like how durable it is. Like once you get kind of the mixture or the ratio on how you want to mix it, like it goes on everything. It's one of the better paint lines out there, I think, for what we do, right?
Yeah, but, and it's because you got pearls, you got standard colors, you got you can go with one paint and have most everything you want or need.
I think the only paint line that I think rival or is competitive with that is the Tamiya, because that's the next brand that everybody seems to like. At least that's the impression I get from YouTube, right?
As you can see over my right shoulder, I've got that too. I love Tamiyas. It depends on what I'm doing. I haven't used the Tamiya for an exterior color yet, but I use it a lot for my interior stuff, for detail painting. They've even got testers. I've got some scale finishes and some MCW finishes. Their base, which are lacquers. The MCW is a hotter lacquer than the scale finishes lacquer. But yeah, I'll try anything. I've even automotive paint. I actually went to a body shop not too far down the road from me, and asked them if they had any leftovers from where they not going to use, and I come home with a box of paint, and and I've the automotive stuff, the automotive urethane, you spray that stuff, you may not want to go back to anything else. That lays down phenomenal. A little bit. I think I used 0.5 reducer in it. So if I mixed 10 mils, I added 5 mils of the urethane fuel reducer, medium,
Yeah.
and oh my God, that you want to talk about something that sprays nice, man. That's
So,
that's
so my safety question for that: can you spray that with the airbrush station, or is that going outside?
yeah, right there. Just like 2K. That's two. I think 2K is probably more dangerous than the urethane.
And you even spray that in the house, and you don't have it linger in the house at all.
No,
You have a really nice paint booth too, that which helps, right?
right, yeah. Yeah, I was doing it at first with one of them little cheap Chinese airbrush booths, but uh, I was I don't know what I had painted. I know I was cleaning out my airbrush, putting some lacquer thinner in it, and spraying it into the back of the airbrush booth, and I heard it. You that can't be good. And then after that, I completely took apart the airbrush booth, pulled the fan. I thoroughly cleaned everything out. I just never felt like I got the same airflow from it because that's not a sealed fan. So
No.
it was just a little bit too much lacquer thinner, and air mixture was just right. And I heard that, I was like, oh shit.
Right. Yeah. Right. No, it's kind of crazy. And I had one of those, and I gave it to another modeler kind of close to me because he needed something for inside of his house, and he said the exact same thing. He was aerosol can, in there, and it just went poof, and black smoke came out the front.
Yeah. No, it wasn't nothing like that. But I heard you can hear a spark, and
Yeah.
I heard that arcing noise like shorting two wires together. It was that same noise, and I was from then on I was really really afraid to use it, especially with any uh, chemical based paint,
Right.
based lacquers. I just I didn't. Yeah, I was like, and then uh, I painted. What did I paint? I think I painted the AAR CUDA. And when I got up in the morning and I was in the shower, and I always blow my nose in the shower, just blow it in my hand. And I was like, what's this green stuff? It was paint. I was blowing out of my nose. I was like,
Yes.
yeah, it's time. It's time to get a new one. It's definitely time.
Or a mask, one or the other.
Well, yeah, I mean, I wear my mask when I'm spraying 2K for sure. But like the lacquers, the the enamels, I don't ever smell it when I'm at my booth. So no, yes, I should wear my respirator. No, I do not.
And
But when I'm spraying
yeah.
2K, when I'm spraying an enamel with the 2K clear hardener in it, yes, mask is on.
No, it's
Yeah, Todd, we got the same booth.
it's crazy how just a little bit of that stuff, you can't smell it. And I think we all do it when it comes to like Stynylrez craft acrylic paint, but that stuff can mess you up too.
Yeah, I know. I know I should, but I look at it this way, man. I haul 7,500 gallons of jet fuel at a time, and I think that's going to get me long before a couple, a little bit of paint. Maybe I'm probably wrong. That's the ballsy part of me, I guess. I don't know. Saying that reminds me of the time when I was delivering gas, and there was two kids. They just got out the car, and they was just standing there watching me. And one of the little boys said, "Mister, you're not afraid of that?" And I said, think about this. I said, you ever been on your bicycle and you're looking at that ramp, and you're looking at that, and you pedal harder and you pedal harder and you pedal harder? Are you scared? And he went, okay.
Yeah, there you go. That's a way to explain it to a little kid.
Yeah, he got it. Yeah, Frizzo, these Pace, man, these Pace booths are hands down the best booth you're going to get. Any, of course, I don't know if I'm sure you know the situation. I didn't get the one I ordered. I wanted the one without lights, and the one with lights came. Somebody else did too. Somebody else in the YouTube community recently ordered one and got the wrong booth. They didn't get the booth they ordered. But man, this Pace booth is the best booth you're gonna get, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, the only thing you're gonna get better is to build it.
I don't know. This is just me because I have one. I have the Micro Mart one. That's what's behind me, and I love that.
That's just like that cheap little Chinese airbrush booth, ain't it? It's the same as.
It has an industrial fan in it though.
Oh, it does. Oh, okay.
Yeah, like the whole black part down here is all encased. It's a heavy duty.
Is it?
The only thing I don't like about it is it sucks it down. That's the only. I wish it would suck it out or away.
On draft. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Hang on, somebody's face.
Frizzo, that's a good one. No, so I kind of want
to. Oh, he's gone way up on his prices. Woo! The Mini Plus is $320 right now, and the Super Mini is $425. But see, when I got mine, the Mini Plus he had it on sale for $275, I think. And of course, I got the Super Mini. Back then, that was a $350 booth, and now it's $425.
Yeah, see, Rick says he has the same one as I do, and I love mine. I totally tell a difference.
How do you got yours vented out?
So mine's vented. It should be the same way as yours. There's a dryer vent out the back or the side, and then I just put a hole out the garage door or out the garage wall. And
oh, okay, yeah. See, that's one thing I don't like about this one. And that's why I ordered the small one, is because of the ginormous smokestack that comes up. The smaller one actually has the fan mounts on top of. See, the fan on that one is inside of it, and the smaller one, the motor mounts. You have to mount the fan motor on top, and the fan itself goes into the voided area, and then the hose comes off at an angle, and you wouldn't have the ginormous smokestack, and you got to have, I think it's 12 to 18 inches of straight run, I think, to reduce turbulence, because all you're going to do is, if your elbow's too soon, it's just going to create more turbulence, and it's going to wind up pushing your fumes back into your workspace.
Well, and yours, it's going. It is going up, right? It's not going out. It's
because see, this one with this particular airbrush booth, the motor and the fan is mounted inside. It's mounted inside the body in here. Okay.
Yeah.
But the other one, the motor and fan comes separate as a separate piece, and you actually put it in when you receive the unit. You put it in. You put into, I think it's 3 or 4 screws. This one, all I had to do was I think I just put a flange on top. That's all I had to do. So plus it's not as tall. It's only about this tall. You know, it would have just, this thing is just, that's my only problem with it. It's just big, but I like it because it does have built-in lights. So that's why.
See now yours. That's why yours is probably, well, yours is a little more expensive. I have to get a desk light.
Right.
The filter that you have in front is basically what all the parts sit on.
What all the parts sit on?
Or like when you're painting a body and you set it down on the thing.
Oh, there's filters on the bottom of the.
Yeah, the filter's on the bottom, so it's not really a stable thing. So I went to, well, we were cleaning out an office thing at work, and they had these air conditioned vents where there was a screen. So I just cut it out to size and stuck it on top, and then I just pull out the filter, like a duct filter that I stick in the bottom of it that's that size.
Right.
That's my only two complaints about it. But you know.
Yeah, and see that's the thing with this one too, is because the fan is in the body, the filter is in at an angle, but the filter is a lower angle. And when I received it and I was putting it together, I was like, this isn't the one I ordered. And I called the guy, and he told me that this hobby booth, is made to capture 90% of overspray from 6 inches away from the bottom shelf. So I can spray out here, and I mean, it ain't like I've had any overspray on the sides of it, you know, outside the hobby booth at all. It's a fantastic booth.
Yeah, see, Todd says vents out on the bottom, and he didn't like it, and the paste vents out at the top, and it works way better. So,
right,
yeah.
It's actually more of a rear, instead of a downdraft, it's a rear draft. It's just yeah, it's just where the exhaust comes out is up top.
So when Miguel was on a couple weeks ago, he was saying you're doing a bunch of the 3D printed testing, or you've been printing out a bunch of his stuff at least.
I've printed out a good bit of his stuff. Yeah.
How are you liking that? That's cool that you're.
Yeah, I just recently went from the standard photon mono.
Okay.
And I went up to the mono 4K, and there's no comparison as far as detail. I mean, the detail is so much better. It's more crisp. It's sharper. I just really kind of getting it dialed in. And speaking to him, I'm probably going to get with him on a couple things. I know Fred in his live, I was listening to his live stream this morning, and Fred wanted to get with him on some door handles. Somebody on Colts has already got some door handles, Fred. I think he said they were for GM. And that might be black box, but I'm talking to him about the tires for NASCARs instead of a decal. If he could make the tire with the raised letter instead of a decal, I think they would probably look better. But I don't know.
It's crazy what he comes up with. Like once it warms up a little bit and it's not in the 40s, I'm gonna pull my printers back out and I'm gonna do that Doom Buggy chassis that he came out with.
Right.
I'm gonna be printing that soon because that's good.
I got his chassis and suspension and everything for the '66 Chevy pickup truck, and I had got it all well, not all of it. I got about 3 build plates full of sliced files, but it's for the freaking mono and not the mono 4K. I wasn't even thinking about that when I was doing it. So now I got to go through and redo all that crap.
It's like on the 3D printed stuff, it's kind of crazy how much the settings are important. Like you think you just, you'd put the file in, hit play or hit print, and it's like,
Yeah.
no. Ugh.
You got to dial in your exposure time, because that can uh, be the difference between a failed and a successful print.
Yeah, I agree with that. I know being out here in the garage, I've talked to a bunch of people, and it depends on where the printer's at in their house on what they tell me the settings
Right.
are at. You
Right.
know,
Yeah. And with you in the garage, you could. They make those little warming rings that go around your vat. You could try that, and it would keep it from getting too viscous.
I mean, I've kind of figured it out a little bit, but it's still that, it can't be too hot in the summertime and it can't be too cold in the wintertime. So it's
Yeah.
like I have this 6 month window where I just print everything I can, and then
Right.
it's
And it's probably 3 months you can print, 3 months you can't print, 3 months you can print, and 3 months you can't print.
yeah, basically, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
If it's anything like the weather here.
No, yeah. I mean that's
3 months of cold weather, 3 months of beautiful weather, then 3 months of swamp ass season.
and that's why I save up a bunch of stuff. Like I've been doing car kits and stuff now because and then I've got a bunch of stuff I still have to finish, and yeah, it's
All right.
no, it's totally cool. So with doing all those car parts, how do you see the whole 3D printing thing going forward?
I think it's just going to continue to grow myself.
Yeah.
I don't see no stopping it. I mean, with the stuff that Miguel is right now doing,
Yeah.
I sent him a video yesterday, and he already got most of the design knocked out on it. It was a video of a 1-to-1 Volkswagen Bug with a Hellcat in it. Fucking rad. Yeah, and it was front Bug chop top, and he sent me some pictures of it about 2 o'clock this morning, right after I got up and got out the shower. He'd been working on it, and it looks badass. I'd print it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
No, it just seems like where I think the bodies is where the 3D printed stuff is going to have a learning curve to it, I think. At least with the ones I have. I don't think I can print out a full body yet.
But
I have
there you probably can, some of the smaller stuff, and I don't mean 1/35 scale, 1/32 scale, but like something like I got the 24th Lamborghini at an angle. I'm quite sure that would work pretty well.
Well, yeah. I only have the Anycubic Photon and the Photon S, so it's a little bit smaller. So I don't know if it would go all the way up.
You got the Photon Mono, right?
Mm-mm. I have the Anycubic Photon, the first one, and I have the S, the next model. That's the two I have.
Okay. See, I got the Photon Mono, and then the 4K, the Mono 4K, and they're exactly the same build plate.
Yeah, your build plate, but you're able to print taller.
Okay. Photon doesn't go up as high?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
That's why you have a like the clear pyramid case, and I have a solid structure.
Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay, I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know much about each individual model, but I know that Miguel just got that Max or whatever it is. That you could take the top off of it and put the Photon Mono inside of it and put the top back down. That thing is huge.
Yeah. I mean, he's doing really good work and he's getting paid for it and he's improving the business model, right?
Yeah.
So you can't blame the guy.
Miguel.
And that printer's not cheap either.
Yeah. I don't know a lot about what's out there, but as far as I'm concerned, is what I've seen and what Miguel is doing, and will do for us instantaneously. That to me right now, Miguel is the standard.
Yeah.
I can send him a text. I can send him a message. I could talk to him in a live stream. Hey man, can you do this? Next thing I know, he's sending me pictures. And I didn't even, like when I sent him the bug with the Hellcat in it, I just let him know, man, this is fucking badass because it already had wheels on it, something like he would do. And yeah, he messaged me back. He said, that's sick. I said, yeah. So that's pretty cool. And the next morning he's sending me pictures where he was been working on it. And it looked a lot like the video. That's all I got. A lot like the video I sent him.
Well, Miguel, we must have said his name enough times because he's finally popped in the chat.
Kind of like Pappy, Miguel.
Right. Yeah, I'm really, really enjoying the 3D side of it. I'm doing more figures than automotive stuff, but
right. Speaking of figures, when you was doing that stuff with Gil, and I saw how much you improved. I'm like, it might be something I want to try at some point in time. I thought it was different, something new. I don't know when I could have time for it and dedicate every Saturday afternoon at that time that y'all sit down and do that, because then it would wind up butting up with my live stream. But it would be something I could print, though. I don't want to have to pay an exorbitantly high cost for those models that they get. I just think they're ridiculously priced, in my opinion. But opinions are like buttholes. Everybody's got one. And if I could print it and sit down and with him, in live like that at some point in time, I would like to try it.
I mean, I know Gil pretty well, and whenever you're ready, dude, just let me know.
Right.
Because I can get you hooked up into that. But after the new year, there's going to be some interesting tutorials. Like the group of us are getting some pretty cool figures coming up of like resin casting stuff. And I'll let him explain that because it's his thing. But yeah, it's going to be pretty cool. I'm going to be doing a couple more of those after the new year. So, but yeah, I having other people print stuff, unfortunately, there's a cost with all that.
Right.
I mean,
yeah, they got to pay for they got to make some money. I mean, some of those taller figures, I'm sure they got 7-8 hours of print time. They got to pay for electric. They got to pay for resin. They got to pay for their machine, their time, to model it. And yeah, I get that. But I'd prefer not to. But then again, you never know. You never know.
I understand, man. I completely understand. And, it is one of those things that, it's just like the model kits, right? Over the last year, those have been going up like crazy.
Well, that's because they use petroleum, and petroleum went up. Of course, now it's coming back down a little bit, but a lot of it's got to do with shipping prices. I can tell you that. As far as I get paid a percentage of the freight, and when my boss goes up on freight, my paycheck goes up, and my paycheck has been looking really nice this last year.
So you're saying I can borrow some?
No, I ain't got nothing to borrow. I still got Mr. Bill, and he likes my money.
Unfortunately, I have that damn problem too. Well, and it's it's one of those things where you kind of have to like juggle, right? Well, I can buy this now, I can buy that later.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
wait,
I don't get worried about if I want to go to the store and pick up a kit like I did 3 years ago. And I was like, I can't do that. I can't afford it. I can't afford it. Now I go, whatever. But
right.
I do try to catch the better deals. I go to a show, I'm gonna try to stock up. But that being said, I'm gonna try to ease off on the 24th, 25th, 24th, and 25th for a little while. Um, I want to get at least one. Thanks to Miguel, um, he sent me my Holy Grail kit. But I still want to do. I want another big scale kit. I don't really know what I want. I know to me it's got a Porsche. What is that? Is it a 911?
Yeah, it's probably the 911 Turbo.
I wouldn't mind having that, but that's pricey. I walked by the Fuchs Camaro at Acme, and I was like, I should do that. And I walked by it, and I left, and I went out to the truck, and I was out there for a little while, and then here comes freaking Dan, little man Dan, Munchkin Man. I was like, no, he ain't got that kit. Yeah, he had the kit. I was like, son of a bitch. So I mean, I got a couple I would I would like to try as far as a big scale kit, but um, when I do the General Lee, I want to make sure I do it right, just because it is a Holy Grail kit, and I built it when I was, I don't know, 14, 15 or so. I didn't even back then. It was molded in orange. I didn't even paint the body. I put decals on it. I probably painted the engine and stuff like that, but yeah, I just put the decals on and let it ride. It's like, yeah, generally. But that being said, I also want to paint it the proper color. And the proper color of the true 1-to-1 General Lee is not Hemi orange.
It's not in. It's whatever.
TNT Express orange.
Yeah.
Because Hemi orange looked brown on TV. It looked
right.
brown.
And then I don't know if you follow. I'm gonna say his name wrong probably, but it's Jonathan Schneider, the guy that played Bo on the TV show.
Yeah, Bo and Luke. Yeah.
He does a deep dive on that car on his YouTube channel.
Does he? Okay.
Like he does a deep dive.
I
He still drives the one from the original show.
Yeah, I don't sub them, but I mean every now and then, because I watch some gun stuff, it'll a John Schneider video will come up or something else I was watching it, and I'll watch it, but I'll have to go check them out and go watch that because there's stuff about it.
But he has a filming restoration for the show somewhere down in your part of the country. I don't think it's in Georgia. I want to say it's in like
I think he lives in
Mississippi, maybe.
Mississippi. I think that's where he lives. Is in Louisiana or Mississippi.
It somewhere in that. I don't know. It's hard to. You probably have a better idea if you heard the town name where it's at, but I have no clue.
Right.
But yeah, I totally get that. That's.
I know I've heard him mention where he lived one time before, but I can't remember where he said he was at.
Yeah, that's and that's like I want to take the Airwolf kit and eventually somewhere find it and put it together, because that's probably mine.
I actually just mentioned that in one of the was the Hobby Time modelers. They're live.
Yeah.
I was in their chat yesterday through Rascal, and uh, one of the guys that was in the streams said that he would love to do an arrow wolf, and I said, I'm not a military guy. I don't build military stuff, armor stuff. But if they come out with an airwolf, I'd build it because it's.
Yeah.
I remember the show. I remember it was one of my favorite shows when I was a kid.
Well, and it's going to be one of those TV shows they're trying to bring back, or they're going to make a movie out of it. So I think your kid's going to be coming back out soon.
Okay, I didn't know they ever had that kit.
Mm-hmm. It is AMT or Ertl.
Oh, AMT. Oh God.
Like Dirt Pit, I think, is one that has done it on his YouTube channel, and there's someone else. I don't remember what the other one was, but yeah, Dirk did a really good job on his, and he did the villain plane or the villain Airwolf from the show.
Okay.
When he did it, so.
Okay.
So, other than doing a bunch of 3D printing, do you have any new tools or anything that you've gotten since the last show, or?
No, I don't think so. Not I think of right offhand.
Okay.
I got Papa Z's skeleton hanging up in the background. You probably can't see it, but I got probably got my Iwata Eclipse, which is slowly becoming my favorite over the Revolution CR.
What's the Revolution CR? Is that an Iwata too?
Iwata, yeah, it's 0.5 needle nozzle, and the Eclipse is at 0.3.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Iwatas are good airbrushes. I don't have one, but I've got to use one, and they're really nice.
Yeah.
Compared to my Badger stuff, they've gotten a lot better.
Right.
But
I actually, when I was a kid, I was like, I found a good deal on an airbrush set. It was the airbrush, the compressed can. It had a couple bottles in it, and a couple of paint bottles. And I never paid attention to it when I first started airbrushing. I was using it, and I knew something was wrong with it, but I didn't know what. Didn't really know how to see it. But as I realized, you really got to take a look at the end of the needle. I found the needle was bent. I ordered a sharpen air, and in the process of taking it apart the last time before I sharpened the needle, I realized this is a Badger. So, and it's like a 205. It's an old. I mean, I got this thing when I was a kid. So I got it when I was a kid. Got the cap on. It's got the needle depth adjustment where you can adjust your, how much paint. And from what I read, this is a good airbrush. I found it on their website, but what I could not find out was what was the needle size. It's pretty small. It's definitely not a 0.5, but that sharpen air, it straightened the needle right out.
No, it's that sharpen air thing. I need to get me one because
it's worth it. It's well worth it.
Yeah, save you in the price of needles because those needles are not cheap.
I haven't used this yet, but I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it at some point in time. I'm going to give it a whirl, practice with it a little bit, especially if I want to do any fine line stuff. I'm going to try to use this when I was going to try to hand airbrush some more real flames on the 49 Merc.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna try. I tried it. I didn't try it with that airbrush. I tried it with my Eclipse first, just to see if I could even get close, because I knew I was gonna have to mix up a lot of paint for, this kind of paint cup to be able to siphon it out. So I just wanted to, and I was like, nah, this is not going to be possible. So yeah, that's when somebody recommended in my live stream to contact Papa Dan, and that he had a Cricut and he could cut the flames out, and it's got me wanting one, just because of it seemed to be quite an easy process of, he loaded the design into the program, scaled it, and sent them to me. So it's kind of gotten me wanting a Cricut, just do pinstriping or whatever, things, little things. It's I see a lot of versatility, and if you
Yeah.
want any kind of graphic designs, that you could cut a mask out, lay it down, cut another mask out, lay it down, cut another mask out, and you could do some pretty cool graphic designs pretty easily, or even flames, something like that.
Well, I mean, the Warlord Titan in the corner, that's how I did the Punisher logo for that, was the Cricut. I had Gil print me out some because of Fallout Hobbies disaster. So that I had. So
Okay.
it's But anyway, we've gone about an hour. Did you have any questions for me?
Yeah. What did you get out of doing your lives with Gil?
Oh, where is one of those figures?
Well, I'm saying is, what did you get? Did you feel like you picked up a lot of new techniques?
So the biggest thing that I learned is like the layering technique. You start with this color, and then you're building up from there, right? That was something I'm not good at before I started doing all that, and afterwards I don't know, it just clicked.
Right.
And I'm not good with oils, so that part of it, is
Reused. I got some, but I've never. I done a little bit of weathering with them on my 49 Merc in the engine compartment, but that was really it.
But I mean, skin tone's not easy. It's really, really difficult.
Right.
But I mean, it's I've gotten way better.
You learn the layering process, and the layering process can translate into painting, even a model car. It could, layering paints, and how you can get different colors out of it and different effects out of it.
Well, like on cars, it would be like the roof, the hood, and maybe the side paint. One side of the car, you could paint like a gray on the primer, and then the other side you'd paint like with a black primer, so you get that contrast of colors, right?
Right.
It's kind of the same thing, but it's just I'm not good at that either. But
that's what I've done with my 40 Ford. Was the fenders. I used a black sealer, and then on the body I mixed black and white and got a light gray, and it's two totally different colors. It even has a different characteristics with the pearl. As I got another one. It's the same color, but I used a white backing on it, and it looks like a completely different color, completely different. The pearl doesn't pop, is not as vibrant um, with the white backing, um, and the color is lighter.
Yeah. And like I've noticed with like gold, the color gold, right? If you put like a bright red behind it, has a different tone that looks awesome.
Right.
Or you
Well,
put a metallic
right.
silver behind it, has a
It's
completely different
right.
color.
It's like candies, candy, automotive paint candy, Createx candies. Um, the silver and gold give you two different effects, and with a gold backing, uh, with a candy over it, it's considered a candy apple.
Yeah.
Candy apple isn't a color. Candy apple is the gold backing. It creates a warmer tone. And with candies, you could put any backing you want. As long um, as long as it's not black. But you can use grays and um, different color pearls, and then put a candy over it, and it'll all give you a different effect, different color pearls and metallics and whatnot.
Oh yeah. That's like putting white down, then a silver metallic, and then certain spots you kind of like darken it up a little bit, and
Right.
then put the whatever color over that you it's like, oh my gosh. But like I said, I'm still not very good at all that too. I'd love to say I'm really good with an airbrush, but I'm really, really not.
Yeah, I'm not good at the little stuff. Um, I mean, yeah, I can airbrush the little parts on a model, but as far as like what some guys can do, um, yeah, I don't have that much control for sure.
Yeah, like painting like on the NASCAR, the bars that go on the windshield. Yeah,
Well, that's where properly taping them comes in.
I
And the fine line is what you want to do is like, so I like my automotive stuff, right?
mhm.
Because dollar for dollar, you get way more out of it. So this is fine line. It's a vinyl tape, and you would lay the fine line down first where you want your line, okay, on your body, and then you pick up your bigger roll and tape along the fine line. And that was a tip given to me by Brad, who doesn't have a YouTube channel, that we're all trying to talk into getting a YouTube channel. He's a good friend of old Tom, and he goes to JacksCon, he goes to Atlanta, Acme, and the paint, his paints are freaking unbelievable paint jobs he does,
Yeah.
and it's all he does is candy. So
No, that's cool. That I mean, hopefully you convince him to do it, right?
yeah, yeah, working on him. Tom said, "Hell, I'll drive." Tom said it's a 2-hour drive for him. He said, "I'll drive over there and do your channel." Yeah, yeah, he's a former body man, Jamie G. Yeah, he's a former 1-to-1 uh, automotive painter. And now, I mean, there's several people in this community that are just like seniors done it. Um, there's one or two others. I can't remember who all, but he's the one that told me to use the fine line first and then lay the regular masking over that. You just want to come right below the fine line.
Oh, okay.
Originally, I forgot I had this. I forgot that this was fine line, is what I forgot. But yeah, I to me is great stuff. Don't get me wrong, but this is an off-brand 3M product. 3M makes it the same way with this. It's an off-brand. This is called Smart. This is the same Smart brand. Um, and 3M makes it, but it's a lot cheaper. 3M also makes Tamiya tape. So choose your product wisely if you want to save a little bit of money, because Tamiya, I got Tamiya tape and I use it for smaller stuff. But when I'm doing the bigger stuff, I'm going to my automotive stuff just because of the cost. I even use the big blue painter's roll sometimes to tape off bigger areas because it's inexpensive.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
I'll put the automotive stuff down, this stuff here, put it down to start an area, and then I put that big blue stuff down.
No, I mean, oh, what did Terry say? Always store your tape in a container. Never leave it on a desk.
Yeah. This one was on a desk, and it got a little dust on the edges. So yeah, I had to clean it up. It took me a minute.
No,
A minute.
that's a tip, though.
Yeah.
No, like I said, I've been really enjoying the painting classes. It's a cool group of guys, and Gil's does phenomenal work with those figures.
Yeah.
It's a great person to learn from. But you know, I'll be doing some more after the new year for sure.
Brush, but not an airbrush. Not so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's okay. Everybody's got their way of doing stuff.
Right.
It's all copacetic, right?
Right.
You got any other questions for me?
No, I don't believe so. I think most of the questions I can think about asking you in the past, I already asked you in my live streams.
Right? Yeah. And like I said, I wanted to thank you for filling in today. I know it was kind of last minute.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime.
But I know Terry said he's up for doing another one, so he'll probably be early after the new year. But I'll have to get with him and see what he wants to do.
Right.
And then, I want to get Tom Rambler 69 on here.
Yeah.
He's got so much information on this hobby.
Tom is a master of styrene. There is no doubt in Tom's mastery of styrene and what he can do, and how well he can do what he does. Tom is second to none.
Yeah, I agree.
Don't go anywhere without getting called up and being put on the stage.
Well, yeah, because he took a major award at Acme, right?
Yeah, he was top 10. He's top 10 last year. He's top 10 this year, and he'll be top 10 next year. Well, I've got
till someone knocks him off, right?
Going on up here, and I'm hoping I might be able to challenge him.
To be honest, it would take 3 people to beat him. I think that's how good he is at doing.
Everybody putting their mind together,
right?
Yeah.
Or you start it, someone else does their part. And I still don't think you would beat him. That's the worst part.
At Acme, you don't really. The only way you beat anybody, really, I guess, at Acme, because it's a top 10, and all they do is count up the votes from everybody. Anybody that attends turns in a card of their top 5 picks, and whoever gets the most is top 10. And then there's best of show, and then there's the theme winners and stuff like that. But as far as the top 10 goes, it's not like first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. They don't tell you who got the most votes except for best of show.
Oh, okay. I got you. No, I mean, it's still.
And Tom's got 6 top 10s in a row. Jesus.
Wow. Yeah, like I said, it would take like a group of people working on one car kit to I think knock him off.
Yeah.
That's how much I really respect him.
Because everything has to be flawless. If you're going to set a model to be judged first, second, and third, besides old Tom. Your color schemes have to be right, and everything has got to be somehow better than what he does. And it's hard, Eric, because Tom,
Yeah.
he's a great craftsman, scratching and painting. He's got it all nailed down. His detailing, everything. Um, yeah, Tom's been of value to me, and the information he's given me. Fred has, Jamie has. There's several people in this community that have been invaluable to me, and what they've given me to help me. Um, you know, but you just can't say enough about the mastery of Tom's work.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I totally agree. And he's not that. And the other part of that is he like the awards are here, but his attitudes towards them is like way down here. He's not above the awards.
No,
right?
no, he don't think he's
And
above. Yeah.
And that's the other part that's really cool about that guy. He,
Yeah, you're absolutely Todd. Todd says Tom is very generous with his time and giving me advice. Yes, and he'll do it. He'll do it for anybody.
yeah.
If anybody was to call him and say, "I need your help," what you got? He'll help you with anything.
No, I totally agree with that. Yeah.
But Tom's not the only one. I don't know how many times I've called on Fred for some advice. But being a master of the craft with every aspect, you can't say enough about him. I don't know if you saw his decal work he done from that buddy build he done with Jamie G.
Yeah, I did.
And his carbon fiber work on that. His cuts where he had to cut two pieces and put them together. It all lined up. There was no gaps anywhere and misaligned pieces. I don't have that kind of patience, but Tom is the man. Tom's got it.
Yeah, there's definitely 2 or 3 guys that are like that in the community, and you can tell when they give advice too, because it's really it helps improve people.
You need information on Kit Bash and wanting to pro street something. Fred Henry's the man. So was Fat Man from Alabama, Don. You need information on hot rods. Tom is the man.
Yeah.
Rick is Rick Papa Z is a plethora of the history. You want to know history. You want to know kits that were put out. Papa Z's the man for that. And then you got Heartbeat. He's one of those builds it all kind of guys. He can give you some great advice as well on almost anything.
And the guy that I will add to that is Chris Cortell. Classic Plastic 101. That guy has got all kinds of knowledge and doesn't have a problem helping anybody.
Right.
And then the other guy that I go to for like when I'm not doing cars is Gordon Bennett out of the UK. That guy I wish he would do a YouTube channel with some of the stuff that he knows, because
I've never heard of him.
He was one of the guys that was on the podcast when I was doing that. Super talented.
Okay.
Super talented. And maybe one day he will, but who knows?
Well, Macy, you mentioned Yoast. It's fine and dandy, but if you really want to have his brain, you got to pay for it. If you want to know his knowledge, you have to pay for it. And I don't know the man personally, um, but I mean he's a wealth of knowledge. But if you really want to know how to do something, as far as what I know of him, you got to pay for it. Carlon, yeah.
My brother's leaving. That's funny. And then you got Seamus here, who's the lighting god when it comes to lighting kits.
Amos, yeah. You got any information? You want to know anything on how to light a kit? Yeah. Seamus will let the light shine down from above, like Jesus coming in through the clouds.
Yeah. No, yeah. No, yeah. And a couple weeks ago, we found out all the stuff that he uses too. So yeah. Seamus,
Oh, Seamus. Seamus is in here.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Papa Z, if any of them finds a trick, they'll let the community know, and then the generosity of the community. I only hope that one day I can give the community what's been done for me. The stuff that's been done for me is at times has been quite overwhelming, like with Tom sending me the 66 Chevelle so I could do the Cancer Awareness Group build last year. The man made me cry. And saying it now still touches me, for somebody within 20 or 30 minutes of you posting a video and he takes a picture of it and sends it to you because he's got the address already on the box. Here you go, man. And I'm like, at least let me give you money for shipping. No, he wouldn't take it. And at the time, that was a $66 kit. AMT has re-released it. But that was what was that? Was that a Lindbergh kit? Yeah, it was a Lindbergh kit. And now AMT has reboxed it. So, that's a great kit. That's a freaking fantastic kit. And I got another Lindbergh kit and I got the AMT kit. So one day I can build one except for the tires. I have to change the tires out. Well, at least the hubcaps. I don't like the hubcaps on it. And Miguel, when he calls me up and tells me what he's got in the mail for me to be watching it, that touched me here when I was doing the video as well for that. You can't say enough for people like that to do stuff like that for somebody.
No, I agree. Miguel's a good guy.
Yeah.
And everybody that helps out in the community, it's one of I think we are one of the better communities on YouTube for that exact thing.
Not just for YouTube, but for the model building community.
Yeah.
All of the Facebook groups, none of them touch this group, the YouTube group of people. As far as
I agree.
Get them anytime. They will give you all the right advice and everything.
So So Fred, just remember that over the next 2 weeks when Jeff comes on, okay? I'm not sure when the episode's going to go live, but just remember that for next 2 weeks. I have to actually get with Jeff this weekend and find out when we're. But anyway, Brian, unless you got any more questions, man, we've gone about an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's about time to light the grill.
Yeah, we'll get you onto what you were going to do. Yeah.
I wasn't going to do anything. I got my nap when I got home. So, and then I done my running. Yeah, yeah. That's what you do for Jeff. Okay. Well, appreciate you having me on again. I enjoyed it. Um,
Who's Jeff? I so Brian's gonna plug the show. He'll explain that. Jeff's Model Garage.
yeah. Well,
And
it's
he
Bobby Barnes said, "Pappy, this is what I got for Jeff."
right.
The middle finger emoji.
I'm actually shocked he wasn't on here today. Usually he chimes in a little bit.
Oh, really? Yeah, he should be around a good bit during the holidays, I would think, at home.
Well, he said this time of year would, you know.
Yeah. He's generally closer to the house.
Oh, okay. Now I get it.
Yep.
All right. Well, Brian, thank you for coming on. What time you going live later? I know it's 3:00 my time. What is it for you?
6 Eastern.
6 Eastern. And it's a good group of guys that you have come in there too.
Yeah, you gotta be careful because you might get roasted.
Roasted, more like skinned alive.
Pappy gets roasted every night. He even got out of it, but hey. I won't mention it, Pappy. Pappy's got the good nickname now. Senior gave him that one.
Right. But thank you for coming on, Brian. I will talk to you in a couple minutes, okay?
Okay. All right.
All right, everybody. That was Brian again. An hour and 20 minutes didn't seem like it was very long today. But I like Brian. He's a good guy. But Jeff's Model Garage is going to be on over Christmas break. That's the only episode I have on during the next 2 weeks. And then the next one's like the weekend after New Year's. I want to say it's like the 6th or 7th. And yeah, so I will see you guys next time. Bye.